Okay, so we begin using vibes. This is the recording from the meetup. And our first thing that we do is we come in here and we're going to give a natural prompt. And this is all going to be a result of the vibes process. We're going to prompt with our plan. So we're going to switch into plan mode. We're going to give it the simple text of what we want to do in natural language. And then this will also bring us over into where we can go into act mode, and it's going to create our code itself. So in here, we're going to go ahead and type in something just simple, and we're going to create our first application. It's going to be called Hello World. And you'll just see I write a simple prompt. I don't give it a lot of details, but it will turn around and come back with more comprehensive questions and plan for my application. Switching it back over to the plan, and then I send this in. So it's thinking, it's going out there, it's getting information about what I want, and then it will begin to ask me questions. Notice it's saying, I see you're interested in creating your first Mule application called Hello World. And then it goes forward from there. It had two files. It'll ask me at some point if I want to create yeah, it says, I see you're currently in the workspace. Do you want to create a new separate world, project? Yes. I don't want it to be added to the existing one. So I go out and create a new workspace. So creating a new workspace here. Okay, so you see the prompts it's asking me there. I want to create my first Mule app called Hello World. I'm in a new um, workspace now. Okay, so it is asking me, do you want to create a new project? Do you want to use a template? Do you want to convert an existing project? So I reply back with number one. I want it to be a new project. So this is all in the planning phase. It's going to communicate back and forth, asking you questions, what you want to do, and I, will provide the information throughout this segment, and then it will continue creating various things that I ask of it. There we go. So it's starting to make out the flow. It's even giving me my endpoint. Again, this is all the plan. And it's telling me basically it's ready to go ahead and create that. We could switch over into act mode. So there we go, switching over into act mode. And now it's going to create my code for me. Okay, so it's prompting and or I should say responding and giving information here. Now it's going to ask me some questions. Um, And I'm going to end up telling it I want to generate from scratch without a template. You can also set it to auto approve. I purposely have mine not needing manual approval. And the reason is so that I can show you each of the questions being answered along the way. So it's created, so again, Agentforce has a question, create the project with the defaults. Instead of specifying the path and name, you would in most cases define that more. There it goes. And now it's waiting for me to approve this. Notice there's a tool on the MCP server called Create Mule Project. That's what it's being used. There were some issues with this too, and it will actually troubleshoot it when that is actually created. So it's making the directory for this. So notice it's troubleshooting this. Run the command. That's make directory at the root of C with the Hello World project. So even when it's not finding what it needs, it will actually overcome that. So we're doing troubleshooting at this point. Okay, I will say approve. We're going to create Mule project again. And there's some kind of an issue there. It's saying it already exists, probably because it was there before. Let's go through it again. It'll clean it out, which I think there's so much value in this because even though it's having a hiccup, it's going to show remove directory. Look at this, remove directory. And then it will run it again and it should work. Again, I think I had to combat this a little bit. Some of this might have been a result of spotty internet. I'm not sure, but there we go. Now we're moving forward. So I like to, I'm glad that it kind of did that, even though it was like, wait, what's going on? Change directory. Now we're going into the actual structure of the file to the Hello World project itself. Clean and compile. We would be doing these if we were working with Maven and cleaning these out and building this in Maven. Again, there's an error. Maven missing project exception. Okay, so it's checking on this, seeing what actually got created. Troubleshooting, it's changing directory again, it's going back in that. I kept hitting errors. Now, I don't know. When I run this at home, the build was not failing. So it's kind of odd, and I don't know if it was a result of the internet being a little challenging because I was having some problems with that, some or what. But let's see. I think that it builds successfully after all. Yeah. So Maven clean, these are commands we would run, and Vibe is doing it. So you can just sit there and hit approve based on what it's doing. Again, you don't even have to, you can put it on auto approval. Now it's asking, do you want to generate the flows or describe the specifics about the flows? I just said, yeah, go ahead and generate the flows. So again, you can kind of walk through it, let it do a lot for you, or you can be very specific and tell it what you want it to create for you. So notice where the steps up there, I'd like to point that out also, that it's in 10 of 11 steps to create Hello World. Next, it is, I believe, going to ask us about the listener, maybe. So we'll give it time. It's creating these files. We got a POM file. We've got the source main Mule. It also created a global XML. Now it's asking about the listener, HTTP listener. And we'll go ahead and select the listener. Okay, in the meantime, I got my client application ready so that I could test it out once it's ready. Okay, approving this as well. There it goes. Okay, so you can see everything it has built out here. Use the connector from Public Exchange. Now, in Studio, if we were doing this, we'd have the connector there by default, but we'd be bringing it into the project as well. So I tell it, go ahead and go forward and proceed with the generation. All right, generating another the actual Mule flow for with the HTTP connector. There's a transform message. There's a logger, I believe, that gets created as well. There we go. Okay, so we can see the communication that's happening here. It's pretty impressive. There we go. Now it's starting to build out the code, the XML code. And I kept getting that message. I don't know. I'm going to check on that with the engineers and see why that kept coming up. Okay, so we can tell from the XML we got the flow created. And we have the listener. There's the XML on the listener. More to come. Wants to edit the Hello World XML, wants to edit the global XML. There's our POM file that it's creating. Okay, so we can see our POM. What's weird is when I checked on the root file, it was in the correct place. I don't know why it was hiccuping like that, but config.properties file. Okay, we'll approve it to continue going. And now our project is ready. So we can go ahead and go to source on the left-hand side, open the source folder, main Mule, and there is our flow. Once we open this up, we can see the graphical interface for our flow. And then we can also get a feel for what it created for us. There's our listener. We have a transform message as well. And of course, a logger. So just by communicating back and forth, we've got a basic little flow. There's our hello world. And of course, we can run this and then test it against a client application. There is Hello World. And test it in and make sure that it is working as it should. And it does. So that's pretty fun. Now you can tweak this, you can fine tune it. The video continues me doing that. I'm not going to do voiceover in that segment, but you can see that I prompted to also create MUnit tests on this. And also you can modify the DataWeave. So I'm just gonna, you can go ahead and play out the rest of the video and see what is happening with this. There are some other errors that come up, but it's just gives you that feel for how to work with vibes, communicating back and forth with it. So I'm going to stop the voiceover at this point and let you, like I said, continue to observe, the interaction. No comments needed on some of that.